that we
Yeah.
don't know.
Hmm.
You know who it might be? You just didn't. I wonder if it's
Oh,
Listen, I'm sorry for doubting you, AJ. I mean, I do still, but I'm sorry for doubting you. Welcome to Real Talk Live, where the talk is real and the entertainment's cheap. My name's Todd. This is AJ.
Yo.
And you are in for a treat today, my friends.
I'm in for a treat.
There is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Zeke. Or, if you want to get biblical, Ezekiel.
Yes.
Welcome, Zeke, everyone. He was also a big fan favorite. He had one of our best episodes. Every time you're on, man, it's a
At
good
one
episode.
point, you had the most views on a live.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold that title, even though I don't hold it anymore. I'm gonna hold it internally.
Who beat it? Who beat it? Anybody beat it?
I think Mandy did.
To be fair, that was the Death Note.
That was the Death Note episode. About died.
Yeah. So, hey everyone. Hey Jordan. Hey Greg. Hey Amber.
What's
hey
up,
Sarah.
everybody?
Hey Charlie. Norman, what's up? Party
Scott?
people. Jane had a good story about you just now before we got on. Hey Denise. Hey Brenda. Also, Jane would like to make an announcement that the gift is not a lie. The gift is truth.
Yep.
Hey Mandy. And hey Brenda. Never done this before. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Brenda.
Thanks for checking us out.
This is a great and special day for you to be here because there's one other thing I must mention before I explain to you what this show actually is.
What is that?
And that is, it is the famous AJ's birthday.
It is my birthday.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you so much. Man.
Today you are getting a gift, and the gift is Zeke and I.
I'm so happy.
It is the worst gift. So, what story? It just involves your name, Jane. Anyway, we love you. Hey, Scott, what's up? Well, hey guys, you know the deal, but in case someone's on here and they're like, what is Real Talk? Real Talk's an opportunity to talk about life, God, the Bible, and everything in between. We do some silly stuff, I'm not going to lie, crazy things for your entertainment. That's just to amuse you, to set up the truth that's coming. So somewhere in the description of this video, right? So if it's Facebook, it may be here or here.
Somewhere.
If it's YouTube, it will be here. And you'll see a link, www.theremnant.live/real-talk. If you click that link, go down to the bottom of the page, there's a little button that says submit a question. You can ask a question about God, life, the church that sponsors the show, maybe something you're in, a situation you're in that you don't have anyone to talk about. If you're a Christian, maybe it's something you're embarrassed to say publicly, but you've always wondered whether it's about, because sometimes we have this pressure that we're supposed to know everything about the Bible after being a Christian for a while.
I get that.
Or maybe it's something kind of personal and uncomfortable, or a topic that's uncomfortable in normal, church life. This is an opportunity to do that because when you hit that question and hit submit, it goes into our database immediately and instantaneously, which is the same thing, and anonymously, which means, and truthfully, we mean this because people think we're fibbing, but we can't. Because so we would have been able to tell you who wrote that question.
Yep, it's true.
It's an anonymous question so that you can feel safe to do that. So that will be going on as the show goes, or you can drop questions into the comment box. We'll interact with those as well. We're just going to have a good time. Also, stick around because you're going to get a chance to win a prize. On your birthday. On your birthday, AJ will give you a gift.
That's right.
I mean, on his birthday.
Yeah, it's right.
Hey, Alex says, hey, that's my hubby.
Ooh.
Hey, happy birthday, AJ. You ain't even half done yet like me.
Oh, stop it, Andy.
If we're all lucky. He's AJ 43 this year. Good
How'd you
job
know?
getting older, buddy. Brenda's my cousin. That's awesome, Greg. Well, hey, we love Greg, so we love you, Brenda. Scott, good news, man, about your surgery. That's awesome.
Hey, that is amazing.
Denise gives you a awesome astronaut celebrating.
Hey, astronaut in the ocean.
Really happy for you, Scott. We're celebrating with you. And then Tim, my good man, sorry we stole your guy here today, your
right.
Lionheart buddy. But tell all the Lionheart guys, hello. Or you could just make that the show today. You guys watch us and I'll sign in. There you go.
Yeah, I just had a shirt idea that I got from your intro.
Have you given those out yet? Have we picked them up yet?
Tomorrow.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, and I'm not just saying this. I know I've given a hard time and I will continue until we get caught up. But, what's up, Greg? I miss you, man. Gregory on YouTube. We're also on YouTube.
What's up, Gregory?
What was I talking about? Oh, the shirts. These shirts are incredible.
I love them.
I
man. I can't wait to see
genuinely am jealous. I'll tell you about it, man. I'm genuinely jealous about these shirts. Because did I not say I wish I could get one?
Oh, absolutely.
So I think you're going to like those. What are the shirts he's talking about? Well, you can be a supporter of the show, of this ministry, by joining what's called the Real Ones Real Talk Fan Club.
Yeah.
You donate. There's kind of two tiers, $15. Up to $15, between $15 and $30, you are part of the show, and you're called Tier 1, and you're going to get bonus content that we send out every week. And a new website's coming that you'll have access to. And if Tier 2 is $30 or more a month, and you get a free merch and the free bonus content.
That's right.
So it's pretty cool. No, we're not rich. Zeke can attest this. If you don't believe us, he'll tell you. But it does go back into this show, and it's tax deductible. So if this ends up blessing you in some way, consider doing that. He just wants our money. Well, now you can keep it.
That's right. Keep your money.
Astronaut in the ocean. That is it. That beats sick.
It is sick.
Brenda's sister to Bill, who went to be the Jesus. Okay, awesome. I've heard. I'm glad you're on here, Brenda. Yeah.
Man, what was it? It was. You said it was anonymously Instantaneously.
Immediately.
Immediately, instantaneously. Not
Hey, Chuck.
Just put that in the line.
Oh, and hey, Sierra. I think I said that. So we're going to get going here. I told that. I should introduce the crew. So you've got these guys. We'll get to know Zeke here in a second. But over here to my left and to you guys somewhere hidden in the shadows is Fun Guy Austin, who's going to, in a little bit, give us probably some miserable thing that we're supposed to do for your entertainment.
That's
during
right.
Our Real Random segment. So he's kind of our fun guy.
Fun guy.
He brings the fun.
He grows on you.
Back in the shadows, like either criminals or Batman, is production guy Blake.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
And beside him is the man, the myth, and the legend himself. Hey, thanks, Chuck, for giving me a what's up. You know him, Fun Turn Clint.
Hello.
I can't believe that we brought Fun Turn and Fun Guy together when the rivalry was strong for so many years.
It was, man.
There's been peace here on the set for the first time. So, Fun Guy says no. So that's it. It's going to be a fun time. I'll tell you right now, guys, we'll be checking those questions periodically throughout the show if you want to ask an anonymous one. But I really mean this. And I was telling Zeke, they can attest to this because the only person they're going to trust is Zeke. Clearly not us.
Yeah.
But I think we have some really good questions today. I'm actually excited. And also, remember the segment a while back called Todd's Tidbits and/or pocket-sized philosophy or whatever we call it?
Pocket-sized philosophy.
We haven't done those. I got some today.
Ooh, it's exciting.
So we'll get to it.
Do we have a graphic for that?
We don't, but that would be cool. Yeah,
Zeke, quit being so
I like
Sorry.
pocket-sized philosophy. All right, so we'll switch over to Real Random where we do real random crazy stuff, right? And then after that, you're going to have Remnant Roulette, which is an opportunity for you to win a prize. So stick around. Do us a favor. Share this, guys.
Share the stream.
Amen, Brenda. Amen. That is a comfort when the person that, I love how in the New Testament, they don't even talk about death being anything final. They say they went to sleep. Isn't that cool?
It's really
for
cool.
someone that's saved. That's not the end.
I love that.
So, Real Random. Fun Guy Austin, what's going on today?
Alrighty, guys. We have a special
Remember
one
that
today.
too, Greg.
The fun part about spice, get it? Fun? Is that it comes in different forms. It can be a food, but in this case, it can also be a liquid. So we have 4 different spicy sodas for you guys to try today.
Oh, gosh.
Thanks.
He's like, oh, come on.
You know how disgusting this is going to be, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if you're sticking around, we're about to taste spicy sodas, and I've already seen the name of this one, and it absolutely sickens me. Jalapeno pepper soda. Jalapeno pepper. You'll want to share this because this is coming. So please help us out. We have 14 people. The record for the new one, not for the old days. The record is, I believe, 30. Is that correct, production guy? Zeke, how do you tolerate spice? Question mark.
I don't.
Bro, why did you put so much in?
That is a lot. Are we chugging
I was
this?
trying to split it up even.
No, I'm not drinking it all. We just have to taste it. What's wrong with you? We just thought we have to split the whole bottle.
I'm causing chaos.
For the record, this is just a taste test, and you are tasting for flavor and spice.
That actually smells crazy.
All right,
It smells.
Now, I
you
will
can sit
tell
the
you
bottle
this.
here for him for this one, like right here in front.
We
so there
are
you go.
starting with the lowest amount of spice and working our way up.
Brenda, it is a regular event where we do ridiculous stuff, hot stuff. But no, we have not tasted. We haven't had a weird soda, as some people call it here in the north, pop taste test in a while.
Actually, I think the last time we had a
Andy was on
liquid
that
soda
I was
taste
mocked
test was
about
Andy.
that recently. People say that was a great segment where we couldn't open it.
Yeah, and then Andy would just go and he just pop it off like son of a.
This is a man who spits jalapenos into his eyes.
Oh, we don't need to talk about that.
How'd that happen? I'm very curious.
I
Was it intentional?
Quick story time.
I spit jalapenos because I ate them for a joke, and I spit them out the car window while the car was moving, and they came back and hit me in the face.
That is the funniest story I have ever heard.
Did your eyes burn?
Oh yeah, I couldn't open my eyes for like 20 minutes.
That's a comedy movie. The odds of them not only coming back but hitting him in the eye.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like I wasn't the guy that like faced the wind. Like I turned back, but they still somehow like right in my face.
Oh, hey, Cadence.
Hello.
All right, guys, let's give this.
Are we drinking everything that's in here?
I'm not
You
drinking.
don't have
all
to,
this.
Okay,
man.
okay, good.
Next time I pour, I won't pour as much. It's a party.
Dude,
It is a
It
taste
reminds me
test.
of the pickle one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
It's actually not that bad.
It is to me. I don't know why.
It's a little sour actually.
It's kind of like pickle juice. It actually tastes like pickle
Yeah.
juice.
It smells worse than it tastes, I think.
Yeah.
You guys have any like hotness in it at all or
No,
not?
zero.
Me either.
Zero.
All right, so taste.
I'm gonna give it a 2. That's pretty gross. I'm gonna give it a 0 for heat because this is literally not hot.
That's awesome, Greg. We're actually getting some tracks. Strange, interesting story coming. Muscles McGee, I don't know if he's on here yet.
Oh yeah, man, that's been in the works.
I'm going to take another couple tastes to see if there's any
Sure.
heat as it builds.
Yeah, let's see.
This is jalapeno, Sierra. And yes, I did gag because I actually literally hate this. It's hard to describe. The initial taste is worse than the aftertaste, which is usually a rarity.
Yeah.
All right,
I
what do
agree.
you got a 2 and a what for
A
heat?
2 and a 0 for heat because there's no heat in this.
Yeah, definitely 0 for heat, and I'll give it a 4 for taste.
Wow.
You get a 4?
I mean,
the rest of
if,
mine?
if you gave me this, I would think it's bad soda, but I don't like soda, so it's just
That's interesting.
all in the same category.
Do you call it soda or pop?
I call it pop.
I'm pop. What do you?
I call it pop.
I call it pop usually, but when
said soda.
he said, yeah.
Some people call it soda. All right. Yeah, so I will give it a 1 on flavor and a 0 on
It's
heat.
bad.
Okay?
Okay,
So
cool.
that's disgusting.
Yep.
Put that to the side. Unless Zeke wants it all. What's next, fun guy? Hey, Kelsey, what's up? Hey, Brandon, love you, dude. What is happening? We are listening. Sorry, her comments are hilarious. We are drinking spicy pops. Ugh. Ray Comfort is awesome. Actually, you know what's interesting? I want to say something about the jalapeno.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed. I am getting a little bit of heartburn in my chest area. You feel that?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I do not feel this yet.
I look forward to when you do. Yeah, so I will say there is a spice, even if it's not heat in the mouth, because it's definitely in my chest.
We'll bump it up to a 1 then on
Yeah,
heat.
yeah, I guess. A delayed heat. Did you try this yet?
You guys want to pour your own?
Fun guy's gonna hop on board here. Guys, we got some for you too later if you want to try it. It is not
There
good.
you go. I'll let you guys pour your own because I over-poured
Guest,
last
I'll
time.
pour the
Yeah,
guest.
thank you.
good.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Oh, it's got a little heat bar over here. All right, let's
didn't
move the
even notice that.
jalapeno and go on to the. Oh,
This
I
one
guess
actually smells sweet.
It does. He's right. What'd you think, fun guy? Let's put that one in.
Heat, I'd probably give it a 0. Like you can kind of,
Soda says
you can
Kelsey.
get a little bit of heat. Flavor's just
Toward
absolutely
me,
not there at all.
This smells extremely
Would
sweet.
be
I would say 0 all across the board.
really?
Yeah, like I feel that like afterburn that you're talking about, but it's like, eh.
All right, let's hop on board then. Here, this is habanero.
Habanero.
Folks. Hey, help us out. We need shares, guys. The more shares, and invite people, kind of like Greg did to Brendan. Now Brendan's part of the fam. We're
That's right.
happy she's here. Production guy, how many shares we got? Hey, Kathy.
We got 15 shares at the moment.
Kathy and I go way back, dude. We were buddies for a while. True story. I knew Kathy before I knew anyone in this that goes to this church. Strange tale. Yeah. What'd you say? Sorry.
We're currently sitting at 15 shares.
All right, 15 shares, 17 people watching. Help us out and share, please.
Share the stream.
Even if you're on YouTube, you could share it
That's right.
somewhere on some social media platform.
Share it everywhere. All right, here we go. Habanero. Taste is much better on
It's
this
a better,
one.
it's a
Yeah.
better tasting soda for sure. Mm-hmm. Dang it, I'm calling it soda now. Pop.
Soda. Or,
don't know.
in some places, it's just all Coke.
Same thing. I feel it in my chest, no heat in the mouth, but it is a better tasting
Yeah.
one for sure.
It almost, I don't know how to describe it. It's like they tried for heat, but they got like sour, like a
I
little
do
tang.
taste the sour. He's right. Tang.
Agreed. I do taste the
what do
sour
you
too.
got?
I'm going to go with a 4 flavor
Oh, hey,
on this
Ian.
one. 4 flavor, 1 heat. I mean, I think I feel a little bit like you guys were talking about earlier, but not much at all.
I'll give it a 4 as well because they were almost indistinguishable for me. And then it'll get a 0 again. I don't think I didn't taste anything.
Guys, yeah, so what I'm going to tell you guys, everyone watching, because I've already decided I think I know this is going. The heat, you will not feel heat in your mouth. You will only feel the spice, because I am feeling some heartburn. Even stronger with this.
Interesting.
So flavor-wise for me, this one's a 4.
Yeah, I agree. 4 flavors.
Is that what you gave it?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice. Across the board. What'd you give it? You give it?
tried
Yet? Give it. You already got it. Go ahead. Oh, you want?
Need a cup?
There's some left. Yeah, and heat-wise, again, now that I know what it's doing, I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give this one a 2, just because it's in the. But it's not a mouth burn.
No, not a mouth burn at all. You're right.
There's 0 mouth burn.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
It looked like you really enjoyed it
We
there.
got a heck of a crew on YouTube, guys. 9
Really?
people. What's up, YouTube
What's up,
fam?
YouTube fam? Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna remove a bag of Carolina Reaper cheese curls. Oh my goodness, Gregory. Carolina Reaper is hot, my friend. Do I know a funny sounding word in another language? Do you? Kelsey asked that because she just taught us some Navajo.
I'm sure I do, but it's gonna be a while till I think of
I
it.
know that Todd is just pronounced Tod in Spanish.
Nice.
I can speak some Mandarin, but
Really?
Yeah. Ni hao ma, wo shi AJ, ni shi.
Okay, I didn't know this shit, but I didn't know ni hao. Cool.
Yep, I said, hi, how are you? My name is AJ. What's your name?
Mi amo es Santiago. Anyway, all right, what do we got next?
Oh boy.
It's ghost pepper. You got a ghost pepper one. Is this not the top yet? Oh, you have a Reaper, don't you?
He's like, nah.
You got a Reaper one. Yeah, you do.
He's smiling. He's like,
That face.
Yep, we're gonna have to probably reuse a cup, guys. As a
that's
heads
okay
up.
with me.
Actually, is there only one left?
Here we
Yeah,
go.
hey, nice job. That worked out exactly correct.
Dang. Did
Oh,
you,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you counted or
thank
something.
I could pour for myself.
Perfect.
Are you sure? Can you put this up front, please? Thanks, man. I need to know if you guys going to give AJ's birthday swing. He's not on camera.
That's right.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, here we go. This is Ghost Reaper Pop Soda, whatever you want to call it.
Coke.
Yeah, I heard that. That's
In the South, I believe.
I'm nervous, man. The heartburn is strong.
You know what's
Oh.
weird?
This one smells.
Ugh.
This is interesting.
That got in my nose. Anyone get any spice in the nose? No. Me either. Thanks, Jordan. It really did. Like it's almost like the fumes got in my nose.
Oh, man. I see
I told
why.
you. All right, you take a whiff.
No, I'm all right.
It gets up in there, man.
Again, what an interesting flavor. It's like they tried to do maybe an orange with it. Not
Yeah,
just
I don't
because
know.
it's orange. Like,
You know what this loosely tastes like? Dr. Pepper.
I could see what you're saying.
Yeah. It loosely tastes like Dr.
But-
Pepper. You gotta be really imaginative.
The Birthday Spain is going to be filmed for the real ones, extra footage. Actually, most of the real ones now. I mean, we have done some crazy stuff. The extra footage is our kind of sub show called Real Talk After Hours.
After
That's true.
Hours.
True story.
Yep.
Is that one out yet?
New episode coming out this week.
Okay. No, it's inappropriate. This is a family show. Touche. All right. So what do you got?
I'm gonna give
I
this
do feel a
actually.
tingle on my not heat, but a tingle on my tongue.
I was about to
Me
say
too,
that.
Gregory.
I'm gonna give it a 5 for flavor. It's a little better than the other one.
Oh.
This is the best flavor right now. And then I'm gonna go like a 2 heat, and that's being nice.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1 for heat. I still didn't
Mm-hmm.
taste any. And then I thought this one was the worst one yet. I'll give it
Really?
a 2 for flavor. I would, yeah, it's bad.
Okay, I'm actually, and I'm not just saying this, I'm in between you guys with flavor. I think it is not as bad as the first one, but not as good as the last one. Heat, I'm going to say again, a 2 only because it gave me not even heat, a tingle
Yes,
on my tongue. And my heart, I do have heartburn. So, yeah, 2 and what I say? Oh, flavor. I'm going to give it a 3 and a 2.
3 to 2.
flavor, 2 heat. And now comes the misery.
Oh boy. We'll see how bad this
Trade
really
the
is.
fun guy here. He can try this out.
Here you go.
Guys, I'm going to tell you now, if anyone knows, we've done a lot of Carolina Reaper stuff, and I genuinely, because of the association,
Yep.
like I despise the taste of it.
Oh yeah.
The smell of it.
Yeah, and the smell of it, correct. Yeah. It's really, really bad.
Oh, it's
Hey, no, Nevada.
Is that,
That literally, it has it exploding out of the top. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, is Nevada hotter than Carolina Reaper?
I've never heard of it.
I'm getting a little indigestion. Update.
Update regret. Here you go.
Sometimes I look at myself, and when I smile, I'm like, I just look ridiculous.
It's better not to look.
Yeah, I can't believe that looked ridiculous, and then it looked even more. So. Okay, I act like a professional. Will you put this up there?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That doesn't smell nice.
You smell this thing?
The heat. The Zeke is awesome. Don't eat garbage. Is your store buying that too?
No.
Okay,
no,
just
not.
doesn't want you to eat garbage.
Yeah.
Claire. Zeke is awesome.
I'm sure
You know
there
what this
could
smells
be.
like?
Good parents. What?
It smells like big red gum.
You and I are similar in a lot of ways, man. But I'm not with you on this one. All right, here we go. This is Nevada Reaper Pop and/or soda.
All right, here we go.
You get a fume yet?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
A fume?
Like the fumes? Did they go in your nose?
No. No. I think I might just be too clogged for that.
Oh, touche. Well, it's a superpower. This one's definitely causing heartburn.
Oh yeah, this is definitely.
That would be cool to do the Hot Ones challenge. Our own version of it.
Oh, the last dab was probably terrible, dude. I don't know how they do it. It's probably worse than.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know actually.
We've eaten you, and you had that chip, man.
The chip
which I am
was
going to
rough.
do one of these days. But
Oh gosh, I'm scared for you.
all right, oh man, the heartburn's
This-
bad on this one.
Yeah, I could feel this one in my chest for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got? Flavor and heat.
Flavor, I'm gonna give this one a 3. Heat 4.
Yeah, I'll go up to 3 for heat because I did actually feel the heat in my mouth a little bit. And probably a 3 for flavor. It was kind of in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm exactly with Zeke here. I go 3 and 3 on flavor and heat. By far the worst tasting one to me. Tom's. You're right, Denise. You got them over there already? Or are you just fleeing to get them? Okay. Well, thank you. So that's it. So I don't know anyone that would drink that for fun.
No, man.
No.
These are not just things you sit back and drink.
Yeah, there's some guy out there going, "What are you talking about?" So, which one is this
I
drink?
love me
This is
my
Nevada Reaper,
Nevada
Gregory.
Reaper.
Nevada Reaper. So probably some, I guess, slightly different than Carolina. I will say, due to the extreme heat we have had in the past, gurgle that soda. It gets worse. You're probably right. I don't want to do that
Yeah,
because
that
I am feeling a
sounds
little bit in my
terrible.
throat actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
I
right,
actually
cool.
feel it a little bit.
Well, hey, that was fun. Where does Austin find this stuff? He's the fun guy, man. I don't know. He's the man.
It's raising me.
So, stick around with us. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is called Remnant Roulette. Remnant Roulette is something exciting, and AJ will tell you what that's all about.
Hey, welcome to Remnant Roulette, where we ask you a question, you answer it, and then you get put into a prize pool. And whoever gets selected towards the end of the show, you will win. And then we will contact you to get you the prize.
So, once he asks the question, you'll have 5 minutes to answer. Is it 5 or 10? I always forget.
5.
Yeah, you'll have 5 minutes to get your question dropped into the comment box here, and you'll be entered into a drawing. And the gifts, as Gabby told you, Jane told you earlier, is real. So, here we go. What's the question, production guy?
This week's Remnant Roulette question is, what has been your favorite
I do like Snickers.
birthday memory? What has been your favorite birthday memory?
Favorite birthday memory? This is a tough one.
Are you looking at me because you want me to answer first? Because I don't know yet.
No. Answer it now.
I know what mine would be.
Yeah?
One of the beach parties I had for my birthday. that's a joke. It's way later. No, I'm good on Pepto. Causes me issues. But thank you. You types in the internet how to torture your friends for fun. Fact.
Oh,
Next
my
thing about to say
goodness.
there's nothing fun about Austin. He gets ridiculous. Okay, so what's been your favorite birthday memory? You know what? We're going to do something different. Production guy, why don't you tell us what your favorite birthday memory is?
Nice.
We're not stalling at all.
At all.
My
really cool,
favorite
Denise.
birthday memory. I have 2 and they're kind of similar. One was when I was younger and the other one I was a little bit older. But one time I had a bunch of friends over to my house and we ran behind in the woods and had a giant airsoft battle. The other one was very similar. It was a few years later. I want to say it's when I turned like 19 or 20. My dad and a few of my friends, we all went, hopped in the car, drove up to Leato and went paintballing for the day. That was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man.
Jan Sims, my 15th. I went to paintball plex with my friends.
Nice.
Actually,
Please.
get this. Yeah, have you been paintball?
Yeah, well, airsofting
Yeah.
there, never paintballing.
I actually really want to go one time with you guys. I almost got to go once and I didn't. All right,
I've
you're
never
up.
been either one. So my favorite is when it was my 18th birthday. So this was back when I was playing music, and we had a show on my birthday.
That's awesome.
So and it was a big free show at this church, which is weird. It's at a church because it was before I was a believer, so I was just chilling at this church. But it was a free show, and there was a couple big bands from Indianapolis there that were really good that we got to play with. But the kicker, the reason why it's probably my favorite birthday memory is not only did I get to play a show, but the pre-show before the actual music started, they had professional wrestling happening,
Nice.
and I was so happy.
He's a big fan. If you didn't know.
So they just had these local guys in
That's
there
awesome.
doing a wrestling show before I got to play my set, and I was so happy. Yep, it was a good show, man. A lot of people showed up. It's really cool. There's actually I have a picture somewhere that's of like all the people that were there. It was really fun. Good
20 years
turnout.
ago, AJ. Oh,
That's
now,
right.
It's beginning for you. Where they mock you.
Oh yeah,
Dude, there's like a lot of cool memories here.
oh yeah.
Alex, mine would be 16th birthday. It was so much fun. She said her actual favorite was someone else's, which is cool. I think that when I was a kid, I was sitting in my brother's favorite spot, so he picked me up and chucked me at the corner of the couch for the bedroom, busted my head open, had to go to the rest of the hospital. And when I got back home, I wasn't able to eat any cake. That sounds really fun.
So fun.
That is super sad. There's a lot of cool. Sierra's here. Makes Jason look good. She got him That's awesome. Luke says, 9th birthday, got my first 2 Ninja Turtle action figures. Boy, that is no
Oh
joke.
yeah, that's a.
Do you still have some? Maybe is that a thing? Mandy says, my 16th birthday, just me and my closest friends and family went for a hayride and had a bonfire at Eagle Creek. So it was so fun. That's awesome. 30th, paintball. What did you say? I'm horrible. People.
I haven't yet. I was.
Oh, good, you're up.
I was still thinking.
You're the
I have-
guest, man.
I have 2.
People don't wanna hear me.
I have 2 that I thought of. The first would be my 11th birthday party. My favorite number is 11, and I made it a whole big deal because I was turning 11, and I had the
Nice.
birthday on November 11th, so it was 11, 11, 11, 11, and everybody had to show up at 11, 11. It was a great time. I don't know. I got weirdly obsessed. It was fun, but I had my closest friends there. It was good.
That is awesome.
And then I think the following year, it was an interesting, more funny story that I went to a showing at the library where they showed all day Doctor Who. So I was watching Doctor Who there for the whole day. And when I got home, my parents were like, "Hey, we have your friends over, but also somebody caught a deer, so we're gonna need to cut it up." And so that was my birthday, and I had my friends over, and we gutted a deer on my birthday.
Nice.
It was a weird time, but it was a good time.
It was a weird time. but
Luke,
a
how
good
are we?
time.
How have we become such good friends? And I did not know that you had a collection of this stuff. Sorry, that is a good time.
250.
Yeah, man, I feel like I don't know you at all, man. Emma, I do remember yours as well, Emma, which is hers is one of the most memorable. Is your Alex and Zeke's wedding, and then staying at the church till 1 a.m. getting ready for a grand opening the next morning. I remember
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
that. This is hilarious. This is all hilarious. Good stuff, and your story's hilarious too, man, and fascinating. I would say mine would be, I had one where I just had friends over. We lived in this kind of country. We moved a lot. So we lived in Goshen in this big country place that had like apple trees and everything for a while. Nice. I think it was 7th grade maybe. And had friends over all night, stayed the night, and just played games and did like hide and go seek, tag in the dark and all
That's
that
so
stuff.
fun, dude.
And
It's
then
a
the
good
second
game.
one involved me being like probably younger than that and went to a paintball place. First and only time.
Nice.
First time. I also removed the esophagus and threw it all. Oh, you threw the esophagus on.
That was a different time that we were getting a deer. But yes, I did do that.
Oh, no, Jane, that was the other time. Andy says, 11 is the greatest number, Zeke. My favorite number because I get to be number 1 twice. Nice.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's exactly why I liked it too, for sure.
That's hilarious. Can you remember? How can you remember your 11th birthday? I can't remember my 15th. That's hilarious. Let's see. I didn't have any BDs growing up, but when I met my husband, he started doing things for me, getting me my favorite strawberry shortcake is good. It was weird because I wasn't used to that, but very appreciated. Well, now we have to make it a big deal, Kelsey. And we will someday.
Good stuff, man. I
Good
like
stuff,
this.
yeah. And were you keeping track of the time? Because I did not, production guy.
Their window has officially closed.
Okay, all of those that entered, we still love to know. But you are entered into a drawing. I went paintball on my birthday one year, and Jadis cried when I hit her. Well, I'm sure those things hurt.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
That's one thing, man. Never played paintball or so.
Oh, it's a blast. I've never done airsoft though.
Yeah,
These
never
guys,
done
it's like
airsoft.
war.
I'm sure.
I'm the opposite. I've airsofted, but never fully paintballed. I've only messed around with paintball guns.
Interesting.
Always wanted to.
They do hurt.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, this is the segment in which we get to know you, my good man. So Zeke, would you tell them a little bit about yourself? Whatever you feel like you want to ask. I keep telling myself, note to self, fun guy. We need to get a called like get to know you segment. We'll put it up here, and then we'll have the same questions we ask every week. So they
Good
don't.
idea.
So I'm going to come up with a couple right now, but I'm going to let him talk first. So tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, like they said, I'm Zeke or Ezekiel, if you want to get biblical about it.
Yes.
I've been here at the Remnant for, I think it's going to be 7 years coming up.
Sounds about right.
I came Easter
Nice.
randomly in 2016. I came on Easter, and I just kind of I was going to a different youth group, and I just straight up left and never said anything. Maybe not the best way to go, but yeah, I just kept coming ever since. And then I serve on a bunch of different ministries here. Other than that, my wife is on here, Alex. She's in the comments somewhere there. We got married a little over a year ago, so just had our anniversary back in August.
Congrats, man. Time flies.
It really does. It simultaneously feels like that's always been my life, and also
Yes,
Oh,
Kelsey, you are
it just
entered.
happened. So, yeah, other than that, other interesting things about Zeke. Without questions, I'm not good at this. I have a puppy. She's great, but she just had surgery.
Ooh.
And so she's in this, she's got a stupid donut thing that
Yep.
goes on her head.
Yep.
It's not the cone one. It's like a donut. It's hilarious, and she hates it. So we got her a bodysuit that she hates even more. So it's fun to watch her. I wish I could show pictures of my ridiculous dog, but I can't.
That would be funny. Yeah, we should have asked you.
Actually,
put it
yeah,
on.
we could have put it on. Dang.
Next time, we're gonna get
Next
better.
time, absolutely.
Tim says, "I like quote Zeke," unquote. And then just so you know, down here, Trent out of nowhere says, "I also like it."
That makes sense.
And then your wife, of course, you say just had our first, and she goes, "We're coming up on 2 years." So excited.
Coming up on 2 is, yeah,
in
sure. I
August.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. It's close enough, sure.
Time flies, man.
It's
I
like
get
my
it.
mom. She adds like 15 years to my age every. Well, almost 100. You know? That's more than 15, but yeah. Someone's like, he's 80, 95. Oh, why did they do this to you every time?
They always do this to you, Zeke.
Does this mean babies soon? I'm just gonna go ahead and say no.
Babies! So she's counting down for the 2 years because of that.
yeah, we have a plan. I guess you could say whether that plan will
Congratulations,
happen
Kelsey.
or not. We'll see.
Yeah.
Life happens. So
Kelsey said, we'll get to that in a second. Kelsey says, do I ever get entered from YouTube? Production guy, do you want to assure her of that?
Yes, everybody in YouTube and Facebook both get entered into the drawing.
Listen, production guy is the man. He's a professional. He's got
yeah.
you. And then she says, me and Arnold's anniversary is this week. 11 years married. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
That's awesome.
guys.
And Gregory says, my favorite birthday memories, I got $40 on my birthday, and on the 23rd this month, I'm home for 100. Nice.
Nice.
Big jump.
Heck yeah.
He said it's cold and windy outside. It is actually. So, yeah, and then your wife just says, hey, he said after 2 years.
Nice. Emma, I get that.
That's awesome. Emma says, I realized recently I remember everyone much at the church. Everyone at the church is the same age they were when they started coming to church and when I met them, so everyone's eternally young to me.
yep,
Nice.
it's nice. You've been 26 for the past
4 years.
7 years.
All right, why did I laugh like a crazed, or something? Did you hear that? Anyway, we're almost there. This is exciting stuff, man. So, that's awesome. Zeke, I'm going to ask you a few questions to get to know you as well. We used to have rapid fire. That's what it was.
It was.
I remember doing it back in the
Yeah.
day. a long
So
time
we'll get
ago.
rapid fire again. Here's a couple that are right off the top of my head. And people always get angry at this one. Zeke, what is your favorite movie or movies? You can name up to 3.
I can name up to 3. Well, Avengers Endgame. I'm
Nice.
a big Marvel guy.
Okay.
Loved that.
Hey, Marcus.
Actually,
I love that dude. How
I
you
liked
doing, brother?
Infinity War more than Endgame. I lied, but
So is Infinity War your
yeah,
favorite?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then Sixth Sense is really, really good.
Interesting.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
And then maybe Inception. That one.
Dude, Inception's pretty wild. I've only watched it once, but it's insane.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a repeat all the time kind of movie, but it is a good
Which
movie.
one? Inception? I need to watch it again.
I agree.
Hey, what's up? I'm just going to call you Vamp. Hi, just hopping onto a piece of my sister, not really a churchgoer. You know what? Neither was I. True story. Stick around. But hey, I'm glad you're here. So, yeah, what was it? So you said Inception. Did you give another one? Because I missed that one.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Yes. Another one that you don't really rewatch ever because it kind of ruins
That's
the whole
awesome.
thing. But
Oh, I remember now, Kelsey. We have met. Yeah, those are good ones, man. I need to. I've watched Inception one time, like when it probably early on, and I need to watch it again.
Me too.
And
It was
appreciate
when
it.
it first came out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. So,
Willie?
next question: do you like to read?
do I like to read? Yes. Do
you
I
get
read? No.
What's your favorite book?
What
Oh, hey,
is
Krista.
my favorite book? Man, it has been a
Let's
long
go. Hand
time
it to
since
me.
I read a whole book.
Lady says Sixth Sense. She loved it as well.
I don't know. I don't know what my
All
favorite.
right, we'll move on then. Next, you're gonna love this. Favorite food?
I'm gonna be
So original.
the basic guy and say pizza.
Really? What
I
kind?
will pepperoni.
Is there a certain chain or place that you enjoyed the most?
Papa John's in our town.
Yeah.
Other than clearly,
Willie.
there's better places, but not here.
You haven't had the greatest pizza known to man because you never had Nubianos from Rochester. So I'll have to get you Nubianos pizza from Rochester sometime.
I'm in. Let's
Her
go
name.
All right.
right now.
Her
Let's
name
leave.
is Kesley. My name is Kelsey. Nice. Well, welcome, Kesley. Okay, moving on. Here it comes. You're not even gonna believe what's next. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I have to go with super speed on this one.
That is a good one.
I mean, it covers all the bases. Like, you can do pretty much anything. You're essentially invincible as long as you can run fast enough.
There you go. Fair enough.
Yeah, he's pretty powerful. Whoop, whoop, Papa John's. I love it. Excuse me.
Little Fonda.
Now that I know your name. Kesley says, I used to read a lot, but I stopped when it gave me bad vision. I do actually get that. Started reading what was it called? I got it for Christmas. Kindle.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the paper white one, which I really enjoy. But same thing. I'm always like, I don't need it. Okay. Reading bad. Were you reading in the dark like a vampire? Well played. All right, here we go. This one's going to be very, very interesting. You're not even going to believe it. This is good. If you could trade place with a character in a movie, and you had to live out their story in the movie, who would you pick and why?
Oh, wow. That is a good question. I've thought about these questions of like what universe would you like to live in or whatever, and the answer is always like you want to do something mundane, like a comedy that's not anything. Because why would you want to live in like the Marvel universe
Where you could die?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's what you would say you want versus reality.
Yeah. So if I could be a character in anything, maybe I'll be Elf. I think Elf
That's
would be
hilarious.
fun.
That would be good choice. No real danger.
Yeah.
That's good.
Living my best life. I think it'd be fun.
That's fair. Emma says, remember when AJ was on mission for Hunt's Brothers Pizza? I do remember that.
Hunt Brothers. Once again, second best pizza in the world.
Kelsey says, I would be Napoleon Dynamite and Roundhouse or Uncle Rico. That's hilarious. What's number one?
What's number one is Nubiano's Pizza in Rochester.
Nice.
By
yeah,
far.
you say that. Gregory says he would go Thunder Power. Nice. I like that.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, and the last question. Here it comes. And I already know he's ready because he always has it ready. Production guy, give him the last question because I know you, man.
The last question is
Yep.
for Zeke in
Yep.
this Get to Know segment.
Yep.
It is as follows.
It's a segment you really enjoy.
I love coming
give the
these
questions.
questions just come
Alex
to me.
says she would be Paul Blart in Mall Cop. That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, why'd I laugh like that? I don't know how to laugh.
Zeke,
I've laughed different. all
If
the
you
time.
could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what one song would that be?
That is a good question.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I know this might be crazy, but we do a song here called Spirit Lead Me. We haven't,
I love that song.
since we did it originally, and we didn't have it down properly, so we didn't do it for ages. But I loved it since the first time that I heard it here, and it's been my favorite song ever since. And I don't think it will ever not be powerful, so I think that one might be the one I'll listen to constantly.
Well, that is a good one.
That's legit one of my top two.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I cannot answer that one. So you want to be like Jason. That is, guys. She said, Alex, nice. She goes, no, Jason actually works.
I almost said what Jordan said, but I decided I would be nice.
Yeah, don't worry, because Jordan, she has no chill. Okay, well, that's a great segment. Love Zeke. I won't tell this whole story, but one thing I really appreciate about Zeke is from the guy when he came here to the guy he is now. I got to be a part of this journey that you had, man, which is one of the coolest things that I've seen, genuinely. At the time, it wasn't always cool for you, but to watch you kind of go from, he could tell it himself, but at the end to be just literally have a fuller grasp of the gospel and what it means, and to watch it impact the way you treat other people and the way you see things is awesome for me to see, man. It was a really cool example. Because a lot of people have that stuff happen where they have events happen in their life, but they won't let it change them because they hold on to their preconceived things.
Yeah.
Or they're too arrogant. And I think you showed humility, and it's really cool. And it's stuck. The crazy thing is, it's a Holy Spirit thing because you've stayed that way. So it's a really, really cool story.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. I want to play video games and ride the scooter. Still going about Paul Blart here.
Yes.
Just chit-chatting at the kiosks. All right.
That sounds like Jay.
Yeah. He's hearing us right now. You know that, right? That's it. I knew it. I love you, Jay. I don't care what AJ says off camera. I believe in you. You sure? And Jordan is just mean. You know that. Okay, moving on. We're going to move on to some questions. We got some. Nope, we're supposed to catch up on our lives, apparently. You got anything?
Let's see, man.
What's been going on in your guys' life? We'd love to hear that, too.
Well, it's my birthday. 28 years old. It went fast. Very fast.
Your birthday or the 28 years?
Like, whoa. both, actually. It blew my mind for a second. Like, yeah, man. It just reminds me. It's funny because, the older I've gotten, the more that I have.
Godzilla by With Confidence. Nice. Sorry, I was just catching up on songs.
Oh,
Do you
sure.
know it?
What is it?
Do you know it? Godzilla by With Confidence.
I think is that I think the band With Confidence I've heard of.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
So yeah, man. The older I've gotten when it comes to birthdays, like when I was a kid, like they were a pretty big deal, with the parties and everything. But the older I've gotten, it's just kind of become more of a normal day. But it's become more of a normal day more because it reminds me of the passing of time, and the passing of time one weirds me out and makes me sad at the same time because I can remember literally walking out of my graduation ceremony like it was yesterday. I was 18, and now it's been 10 years. I'm like, what? I'm 28. Like closer. I remember thinking I remember having like thoughts and conversations with my friends. Like, man, it's gonna be weird when we're closer to 30 than we are 20. And like here I am now, 28. I'm way closer to 30 than I am 20. And it's like, what happened? Where'd the time go? So, for me, man, it's just another day for me more because, it kind of puts me in that sentimental kind of like sad, like the time has gone by so fast. So yeah, anytime my birthday comes up, it's just one of those things that, I don't know, it's cool. It's like here we are another year down, but also it's another year down.
Because I did think there was a band called With Confidence. Anyway, she explained that it was the movie, but With Confidence. Gotcha.
Oh, gotcha.
And before we go on, that makes sense. I didn't mean, are you done? I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah,
off.
that's really
not
it.
about that part because you did get some comments about that.
Oh,
One
cool.
is, did you get a cake, AJ?
I have not gotten a cake. No.
He will Saturday. It's kind of he'll get one Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Why don't you act like that's a surprise? It's happened every time. Then Zeke, Jane has one for you. Zeke, do you feel awkward about receiving compliments?
100%. Yes.
That sounds like a loaded question,
I
Jane. It's
understand.
like you know him or something.
Yeah, that's
Kesley,
crazy.
trust me. I get it.
Jane, do
the same
you feel
place.
awkward about receiving compliments? Because I'd like to know.
And
Yes.
It is his birthday for real, Kelsey. And then Brianna's on. Hey, Bree.
What's up, Bree?
And then someone says, are you sure you're not 82?
If I was 82, I'd be pretty proud of how young I look. So I'm gonna guess I'm 28.
I know that Willie said, you're a young pup still.
It doesn't feel that way.
Sarah says, just been working, taking care of my baby. Jason and I got to go out today on a mini date, so that was really nice. I decided I'm over winter, so if any change, that would be great. I feel you. That Jason guy, I guess he's a pretty good guy, huh? Oh, and I'm proud of myself. I've been getting up before work at 3:45 and working out before work. I've done it for 2 weeks now, hoping to get an extra day, but so far. That's really awesome. Good job,
Wow.
Sierra.
Yeah, good job.
Zeke has a good question. Trent, I'm sorry. Zeke, he says, how's the gym been treating you?
It has not been treating me well. The gym and I are not friends. I actually kind of the opposite of what most people do. Fun guy is giving me a dirty look. I just went back to the gym at the start of the year. Well, most people go at the start of the year, and I quit going at the start of the year. I did the exact same thing last year. I don't know why, but yeah. So I just went back in, and there were lots of people, and that was not great. And also, the gym is hard.
Yes, it is.
So we're not friends, but I do it for my betterment.
That's the way, man. Do hard things, right?
Oh yeah.
We've got Jane says, yes, I do. She said, your face, though, when Todd said nice things to you, looked real awkward, so I was curious.
Yeah, that tracks.
And then Emma says, why can't I tell me what's going on in my life? Okay, what did I miss here?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he says, let me tell you what's been about. My daughter came up to me pointing her finger and she had food or something on it. She proceeds to touch my nose and cheek. It was poop, her own poop.
Oh,
Man, I don't know, that kid's crazy. That's so funny. And then Sarah says, wow, what did Jim ever do to you, Zeke? Ba-dum-bum.
nice.
Heck yeah, Alex, you did the 30-12-3. We do that too. That's our incline walk.
It was terrible.
Nice.
I hated it.
Yeah, 30-12-3 is rough, man.
Oh, so you've been doing that too?
Well,
Nice.
that's what we did on Monday.
It is miserable.
It is.
But you do it for a while and like it doesn't stop being miserable, but it seems to go quicker. Because I was just telling him, you get to like 10 minutes now and I'm like, all right, I'm going to make it.
Yep.
I can't watch it, but.
Take pre-workout.
That's a good idea.
Actually, it does help on that.
I ran out, and I haven't been bothered to go get more.
It makes you feel like you're on top of the world. You walk for 30 minutes, you're like, oh, we're done? What the heck happened?
I have to get some more.
Yeah.
Insane.
Then we go. Reese says, Kelsey. Kelsey says, "Happy birthday." Yeah,
Thank
Kelsey.
you.
I'm not kidding. I'm in the same exact boat right now, for real. I'm kind of dealing with some of that stuff too. It's weird how it affects you even as an adult. And then Kelsey says, "Birthday live. How cool! You're very lucky, AJ." And good
Yeah.
job, Zeke. And compliments are weird.
I've always had. That's one thing about my life. What does it say?
Luke says, "Just go in and lift all the weights and go home, Zeke. Quicker that way."
There were too many people to go in and would lift all the weights, or else I would have. There was like 20 people in there. I was like, I ain't doing this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Zeke, we kind of told you. I mean, made you talk. You got anything been happening in your life you want to share? God doing anything in your life? Anything crazy like that? Is God doing anything in your life, man? That's not what I meant.
Well, on just a life kind of thing
Yeah.
that most people in the church probably don't even know because I didn't realize it was coming up. But I'm going to Pittsburgh next week for work.
Had no clue.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was coming up so
very
quick
hard.
until but so that's fun. I'm going for work, so that's not as fun.
shot.
But it's just training. It's not that exciting.
We'll go with the big shot.
Yeah, big shot. Yeah.
Compliments, Zeke.
Yeah. So that's exciting. As
Yeah.
far as like God moving in my life and everything, I don't know. I feel like I need to step up in a way. Like there's things that I am working on being better at. I need to be better at my disciplines lately, like just in general. So that's one area. And then like serving in the church, different things that I need to be doing better at. So
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I think you serve a lot, but it's funny how
Yeah.
when you think you do enough, God's like, "Hey, I got more for you."
yep.
So it's awesome. Yeah, because you definitely do a lot. Well, we're gonna miss you, man. I didn't know that. Bums me out
Gone
on
for
your
a whole
birthday
week,
now.
man.
Yeah. Monday to Friday, I'll be back for church.
Perfect.
You'll still see me.
You won't miss this face very long. You'll be back.
All right. Well, let's move on. I'll share my stuff kind of later during the pocket size philosophy we get to it because it had an interesting thought
Kind of
that I'd share. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of goes together. That's why I said it. So anyway, we're going to dive in. I'll check the live questions first, and then we'll dive into these just to see if any came in right as we've been going. And I don't know. Do we have the one in here about bad day spiritual attack? If not, that is a new one. Did you say yay or nay? Yay. Like we have that one. Like that's just came in tonight? Yep. Oh, okay, go for it. Let's do that one then. You won't see me. Oh, Denise is leaving too. She's a wild thing. She's gone all the time.
Well, she's going to Pittsburgh at the same time, training.
Why won't we see her? Anyway, how can you tell the difference between a bad day / week and a spiritual attack?
How can you tell the difference? I think that it's kind of hard for me to explain the difference between just having a bad day and having an actual spiritual attack. I think a spiritual attack feels a lot heavier, if that makes any sense. I feel like the lies are a lot louder. Like when you're just having a bad day, you can still find some hope, you know. But when a spiritual attack is happening, those lies are very loud, and like you hear they're just very loud. So to me, that'd be the big difference. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but you know, that's how I view it.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. The first thing that came to mind is probably our response should be the same regardless. You know, so that you don't have to worry. Do we go to God on those days? Do we cling to truth? Because that's the answer to either one, right? Now, I know what you mean. I'm not making light of the question, I think, but that's generally my answer because we don't know always. And so, if you're having a bad day / week, the temptation is going to be the same as during a spiritual attack. Maybe not exactly, but in the sense of you have to still remember what truth is. You got to remember that what God says is true has to trump what you feel in that moment. When a lot of times it doesn't. So you can pray about it too. But either way, I think prayer, and it's not a popular answer. We want a different answer, but yeah. Me too, Zeke. That's so good. I was reading from James chapter 5, being effectual and fervent, super encouraging. I feel like a bad day you can still bounce back from and choose joy, but a spiritual attack just seems hopeless. It's hard to trust God in. Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes with your heavier comment.
Yeah, it just feels heavier.
A lot of times spiritual attacks too, I think, from my experience, tend to attack your identity. Right? They attack sort of who you are. So whether even if it's temptation with sin, right? Your mind begins to say, what kind of monster am I that I would want to do X, Y, Z, or want to yell at someone, whatever it is. So that's a good point.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got to swing over to Philly and Jersey. Denise, she's wild. All right. Yeah. Hope that helps. If not, you can follow up the question below. But I think either way, clinging to truth, that's a real thing. Don't make it Christianese, make it real.
It's good, man.
Also, number 2, did you do this or fun turn?
I believe I did this.
Yeah. Why would you answer that one?
I probably got mixed around.
I was trying to save you time. All right,
Yeah.
so AJ, would you like this question here? Number 1, guys, how do you deal with letting something go? So, letting something go, you should, but you can't.
Very vague.
Well, hi, Kingsley.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So, how do you deal with letting something go? You should, but you can't, or you're having trouble.
I think it's just this has to be a conscious decision. Like you have to make a commitment to this of letting something go. Like you have to choose it every day, depending on what it is. It's a very vague question, so it's hard to kind of go more in depth of like what specifically you could do. But like
my assumption is something. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's a lot of context. It could either be something that's happened or a temptation.
Yeah, and also I would say another thing to add to that is
Meditation.
like have people involved with it. Whenever in any way you can. Like don't deal with it by yourself. So whether it's a situation, or like you said, a temptation or whatever it could be, like don't deal with it yourself, because that's when you're gonna trying to fight battles by yourself tends to end in failure in some time or another. Whether you might have a victory for a day or two, but eventually, man, it just catches up to you. You gotta have it. You gotta have people with you. So that'd be the other part I would add too, is just dealing with it not by yourself.
I feel like the way the question's worded, it almost seems like an action or behavior that is wrong, not just like a sad time. I think the clue is the fact that you should.
Yes.
Sometimes I think, this is my opinion, when it comes to stuff like this, sometimes we are saying, well, I haven't let it go if I still think about it. That's not true. You can't
that's not
control
true.
what you think about.
Yeah.
You can only control whether you act on whatever that thought is. And,
Truth, dude.
And so sometimes we condemn ourselves because we still have a thought, when it's like, no, you have the thought. Don't worry about getting the thought out of your head. That might not happen for a while. And that can be a consequence of something, or it could just be, for a time. You can't focus on that because, or act like that you're bad or that isn't moving on. You need to focus on whether or not you do it, because sometimes the temptations don't leave. Reminds me of Paul saying, he calls it a thorn in the flesh, right? He called this, whatever this was, whether it was a temptation, a sin, he talks about this thing that I've prayed to God to take away, but he won't. And so I've had to learn how to trust him in the middle of that,
Oh yeah.
And Lindsay says, you may have to choose to let it go minute by minute, like take every thought captive. That's good. Yeah. So hope that helped.
Absolutely. Yes.
You're up, my friend.
So should I just ask you this one?
You can.
All right. After listening to several sermons, I've noticed that this verse, Romans 6:23, is never completed in its entirety. The gift of God is left out. The hope to look forward to is left out. Is this done intentionally or not realized?
Well, I certainly realize it. If you say you've listened to it, then you probably know that the reason you hear this every time is it's when we say the gospel every time. So during the portion of the gospel presentation, in order for someone to understand how good the good news is, they need to understand their situation. So to tell a non-Christian, you might be thinking like a Christian. When we're preaching the gospel, we're preaching to people that don't necessarily believe yet or don't know. And so telling them that whole thing could lend one to believe, well, I'm good. When the truth is, it's not twisting scripture to focus on the part, right? Because the wages of sin and death is a truth. The second part comes at the end when you accept Christ. Now, guess what? Now the second part they're talking about is, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. I have to tell them the situation, explain to them what the gift is, and then explain to them how to receive the gift. And so that's why. And that's why if you've listened, again, it says you've listened to several, it is intentional because we're trying to get them to understand the entirety of the gospel. You cannot have good news without understanding the very precarious and dangerous and dark situation you're in without Christ. And that's all of us. Does that answer the question, you think?
I think
guys?
so. Yeah. Definitely.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
How would you answer someone who says their reason for not going to church is because it's full of hypocrites?
This is a good question.
Me too, Kelsey. I love that Paul guy too. She says he's like the guy from Sparta with the delivery of the killer speech in action. Nice.
Yes. If someone is, saying that they're not going to church because it's full of hypocrites, I would honestly I would remind them that the basis of church and following this faith, Christianity, and following Jesus is it's not dependent on other people. That's the thing, man. The church, the church with a capital C, it's made up of a body of people. That's what it explains, that we all have our own roles that we bring to the table. But that also, but people fail to realize, and I understand why at times because of the culture, but is that we're still broken, imperfect people. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to sin. That happens. But that shouldn't be your entire that one factor shouldn't play into your entire involvement in church or involvement in your faith. It should be dependent on your relationship with Jesus.
Okay, but this is a non-believer, probably. So I think you're right. If you're talking to a Christian, maybe not. You might. It doesn't say it, but let's say you're talking to someone that is I don't want to even give church a shot because Christians, the church is full of hypocrites. Sure. So I think your answer is really, really good.
Yeah.
Because it could be a Christian, because I was that guy. I didn't go to church for a long time for that reason when I was a believer. But what if it's not? Someone that's maybe a person of peace, but that's their reason for not doing it.
I would try to explain to this person that going to church is not about other Christians. It's about your relationship with Jesus. So I think it'd still be similar.
But it's about who Jesus is, yeah.
Yes, exactly. It'd be like who Jesus is,
That's good.
The church and its people, even if they are hypocrites, it's not dependent on how you can believe in Jesus. That does not coincide. You can have a relationship with Jesus and still, and that can still happen. And that doesn't, you don't have to be together with that. So that's how I'd explain it is and then I would even which can always be kind of hard, but I would explain the idea of grace and, explain to them that clearly, today's Christian culture, does not look its best. There might be a lot of hypocrisy in it, but that's not the truth. That's not how it really should be. And that's when you can tell them about, a relationship with Christ and what it looks like. And that's when you can tell them what, church really is. You can really explain it, because a lot of what they see is not what it really should be. So it makes sense why they might feel that way.
You got any thoughts on that?
Just kind of to back what he said is people at church are broken people, and I think that the view of them from outside, oftentimes people think that they're hypocrites because we're telling them what they're doing is wrong, and while we're sinning too, right? And that's that view of hypocrisy when we're not really saying that you're evil and I'm not evil. We're all evil, and
Exactly.
God is not evil. So
That's really good.
just because you're doing the wrong things, I'm doing wrong things. I'm not trying to cover my own by pointing out yours. That's not at least as a Christian we shouldn't be. I think that the church with a capital C has been I don't know what the right word to say here is, but there are hypocrites in the church with the capital C, and they have thrown people astray at times, and that sucks. That's hard. And it's hard to tell somebody who has been hurt a lot of times that that's not everyone. It's hard to convince somebody that that's not every Christian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that they did that. That's not what it means to be a Christian.
Yeah.
It's good. And I would agree with that. And Kelsey says, especially hard for people who have been hurt by the church. And she says, I kind of agree with what Kelsey says here. I was going to say this to everyone. She says, I'd say then, quote, we'll fit right in and hook their arm and skip in. And I think that's the point. We are hypocrites. And you kind of said that. And that's where it goes wrong is you've got these believers out there running around telling people half the gospel. Okay? So the half is you're going to hell. You're a terrible human being. You're going to hell, as though they are the ones judging them instead of what you said, which is really good, which is listen. But for the grace of God, I'd be there with you. You are a sinner. You are what you are. We are hypocrites. But see, I think hypocrisy is so funny in the modern world because I don't think it is what we say it is. In Christianity, hypocrisy to me is not saying something, teaching something, believing something, and then failing to do it. In fact, our faith is based around the fact that we're in a process to become more like Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
It's hypocrisy would be saying, don't do these things, do these things, and I, deep in my heart, am not even going to try. Do you get what I mean? So think of it this way. If I'm an alcoholic recovering, okay, and I say, I am you should stop drinking because it's bad for you. And then they say, well, you're a hypocrite because you're an alcoholic, or you had a beer last week and you failed. It's like, that's the point. It doesn't change the truth.
Yep.
My mistakes and my sin actually should strengthen it more for you that you need a savior.
Oh, yeah.
Because even with Jesus, we still struggle. And I love that you said that, because that's the truth. It's not that I'm better than you. It's that we're all evil and that we need a savior to turn us from sinner to saint. That's really good.
Yes.
Would you guys say sometimes the goals in the church can cause this feeling in a person? Oh, the goats can cause this feeling in a person, yeah. He's referencing where Jesus talks about, at the end, he'll separate the goats from the sheep, the people who believe from those who don't.
I mean, definitely. I'd say that's part of it. And, you've made several good points about, people being so defensive and so, scared of the goats that you use the analogy of
Amen, Denise.
trying to shoot the goats, but we end up shooting sheep too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it's that may be true, that, it is caused by the goats, but the thing is we're called to love them equally because, I don't know, man, it's God's judgment, it's not ours.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I agree with. I will say this, and this is where I agree with him. I think we let a lot of people, something I'm passionate about. That's why our church kind of exists, and this is not across the board. There's a lot of great churches out there. People seem to think that. People seem to think if we challenge and want to, as a church body or as Christians, we want to challenge the parts of us that need to be better, right?
Yeah.
In Americanized Christianity, that we're saying we're better than them. No, it's kind of the same thing. We know we're not perfect, but we know that there's certain things that we should get right. And some of the things that we should get right include telling people the full gospel, not sugarcoating it, but also not taking away a hope, laying burdens on people's backs and not telling them how to take them off, right? Jesus talks about in the Pharisees, which is what you're doing when you tell them, you suck and I don't, without telling them why that's even true. Do you get what I mean? Because the truth is we all suck.
Yes.
It's, I'm holy, okay, because of Jesus, not because of me. And that's really good, man. And a lot of people mistake, amen, Lindsay. This is something I always think about goats, man. The scariest thought is if you have goats that are running churches. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And the problem is you can be a really good Christian in America and not follow Jesus and not be following Jesus. You get what I'm saying? You can be you could look the part all the way to the end. And Jesus warns about that when he says there are going to be people that say, didn't we prophesy in your name? Didn't we do these things? And get away from me. I never knew you. So, yeah, it's interesting. I agree, Luke. And let's see. She says, oh, so good, guys, Kelsey says. She said after you guys were done talking, actually. And then she says, as Christians, we're under an imaginary microscope. The unbeliever will judge us for any and everything. I'm forgiven. I'm loved. How selfish would I be not to want to share it with the people I love? It's true. If not for the grace of God, go out. Yep. Denise makes a really good point, too. People make mistakes and always hypocrites no matter where you go. That's why it's so beautiful that we have Jesus in the Bible. And Lindsay says, if not for the grace of God, there go I. And then Sarah says, definitely agree. I didn't ever really, quote, feel, quote, free, end quote, until I came to the room, even after going to church my whole life. Yeah.
Man.
Certainly, you guys know that's something I'm passionate about, is anything that stops people from Jesus. And I think both of you made the main points.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that we don't have more crazy questions that came in.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff, man. It's a good question.
Yeah, it is. Stuff we should be thinking about.
Oh, definitely. And I like that you brought up the idea, because I realized that when you talked about we still need to point out if there's blatant, misconstruing of the gospel, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we should stand up for that stuff for sure. Absolutely. We don't want to. And that's another thing. We don't want to toe the line between where we're just rolling over and letting people do what they want to do, because that's leading people astray, and that's not okay. So makes sense, man. It's good stuff. Okay, great questions, guys, and I love the interaction, man. There's some really wise people in our chat, so thank you guys on both YouTube and Facebook. Heck yeah.
Let's go ahead and do you have the empty nesters question up? All right, cool. So we got a question here, guys. By the way, we're going to announce our winners here in about 5 to 10 minutes from Remnant Roulette.
Stick around.
You better do it. Okay, it's there. What advice would you give a couple that will be, quote, empty nesters soon? If you guys don't know what that is out there, empty nester is parents who now their kids are gone. All their kids are gone from the house.
Okay.
So all their kids have moved out. They're that age. What do you tell those people? And that, if you think about it, that would be hard. For 18, 20 years sometimes, a lot of your identity is wrapped around one thing, and now that's changing.
And then I even think about the idea of like when you have multiple kids, it's even longer.
Yeah.
Because especially
Each kid, yeah.
Yep, man. So that could be 30 years or even more. Like, dang. What advice would I give you? I would say like you need to find something else. Like you're probably so used to having so much put into your kids, and now that they're gone, like you need to try to find something else to kind of fill that. You know, whether that's, and this may sound kind of hokey, but like, you know, like another hobby or like, because I think once something like that you've been a part of for so long is gone, you know, I think that, you know, that I can understand how that can leave you feeling like directionless, like I don't know what to do with myself. So I think it'd be important to find something else to do, for one, but also like don't let that be like the end. Like don't think that's just the end of it all. Like you can still be in contact with your kids and still love them, you know, just because they're not there, you know, like
I need my parents more sometimes.
exactly. So like you can still be a supportive parent without your kids being there. So like
It's good, Willie.
I would say like find something else to do, and then don't just think that your kids are gone forever just because they're not living there anymore. Like you can still be just as involved in their lives. So don't put that pressure on yourself to feel like, you know, it's all gone.
Yeah. I think what I thought of, maybe it's a little weird. Obviously, not no experience with that other than
Right.
being the child that left. But I would think, like, what the thought I had was like, make sure your relationship isn't just about your kids while they're there, because then when they're gone, you're going to be, like you said, directionless. And at least when you have each other, you have like a direct, like someone with you, you know. Like I think of my parents, like now that we're all out of the house, they just go on trips all the time. Like they go, you know, they just go and do stuff all the time because they can now, and they don't have to, you know, put a lot of money into kids and everything, so they can do stuff like that. And so they found hobbies, like you said, and they found things like that to do together and alone, that they're able to like continue life past children.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people here agree with you guys. Minister at and with, Tim Traxler says, minister at and with church empty nesters. Love them too. Yeah. Luke says, remember the fire you had for each other before you had kids. And Greg says, reconnect with your spouse. And then Trent says, I think you need to rediscover yourself in each other. The first thing I think is kind of the same. Only thing I would say is, get in community.
Yeah.
Be in community with people.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you said, you know, focus on life's not over, like you said. That's good. But you need people, man. You need people. And a lot of times in this country, growing up, my parents, I mean, they had some friends, but what I've learned is you don't really have it's like adults they don't feel like they can have actual friends. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Adults, I'm
Absolutely.
one of them now. But like growing up, it was like that, right? You know what I mean? Like I didn't think of adults. Yeah, people hang out, but did they have friends they'd really talk to deep? I mean, some people do, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Rare. Exactly. It's rare.
It makes me think of when I worked at the factory, and the people that I worked with would just go home and watch TV. And then, like, a lot of them had spouses, but they would still just go home, watch TV. On the weekend, they would play golf, and then they would come back to work. And that was all they did.
Yep.
And and they didn't play golf with they played golf with their coworkers who they're friends with because they're coworkers. And and so it kind of has always been weird to me of like, how would I live that life? Because I've always had community.
Yep.
So like that life of like, where's the joy in that? Where's the like?
I think there isn't a lot, and that makes you think. I'm glad you said that. Why a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with it in and of itself, but why a lot of adults they wrap themselves around a certain hobby, like golf, right? I mean, they can get obsessive, or cornhole, or I mean, I've seen stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Sarah says, can't imagine empty nest. My oldest brother's 31, the youngest is 9. The youngest won't be 18 until my parents are 62. That's insane. Love that, Zeke. One time at an old job, a coworker said her kids came before her husband. It made me sad that her identity was wrapped up in that. Yeah. It'd be hard not to. Make plans to do things together, which is kind of what you mentioned. Why can't we be friends? Being in community with younger people makes me feel younger. Well, we love being in community with you, Greg.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
It's good.
It almost makes me think
Sorry,
of
guys.
maybe this is the wrong correlation. You guys would have to correct me if I'm wrong here. But what it made me think of, and this is past AJ coming in here, but like you mentioned, like they would just go play golf together because they went to work together, right? Like, and then you said, Todd, like that's just like them basing all that off of like a specific thing. It made me think of drugs in a way, like, which is weird to bring up, but like, like I know, from my past, but also like people who I knew, they would be with people. They would be surrounded by people that they realized they probably wouldn't even like or want to even be around, and the only thing they had in common was that drug or that thing. So it kind of made me think of that in a way, like the coworkers thing. But like, are they really friends, or are they just people that you're so involved with that that's just what you do? So, and it's based on this thing that you guys both like enjoy doing, but like, would you actually even be friends if it wasn't for that thing? So it's just interesting. So it made me think of like, it made me think of drugs in a way, because like, you get into those kind of places and people are just there for that thing. They're there for that drug, really. You're just there. It's almost like you're a bonus, but I don't even know if I'd consider it a bonus, because you are like, it's not like they would appreciate you being there if it wasn't for that drug being there. So it's just odd. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. And I don't know if that actually makmakes sense or not, but that's just what it reminded me of. That's what came to my mind. So I don't know.
I'll go ahead and announce the winners before we come back to that. I think that's
Yeah.
good. And then we do have more questions, so stuff's coming in here.
Heck
Try
yeah.
to at least answer all the ones that are coming in. So your winners are, pulling it up. I saw them. It's going to seem ironic, but I trust production guy. Kelsey Benito.
Kelsey, are you here?
Kelsey, that is your name on here, so that's what it goes by. I know it's Kelsey Lee, but Kelsey Lee, you have until 58, or is it? No, it's 2 minutes. 55. You have till 9:55 to get on here and say, I'm still here. Bree says that makes sense to AJ. So see, people get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting. That's what came to my mind.
This tennis even sport. Okay, so you have until then. In the meantime, while we wait for her to respond, I do believe.
We have some more Anon questions.
Yep. We got an election versus free will question.
Huh. Interesting.
You can also read questions sometimes.
Sure.
I realized
Absolutely, man.
it's not going to be on there because it's on our list.
Oh, got you. Yeah, 'cause I have to be there.
This guy's a rookie. He's never done it before.
Yeah, man. First time.
Kelsey says, "Oh my goodness, I'm here. You're a winner."
Congratulations, Kelsey.
Kelsey, you're confusing us. Your name's Kelsey B. Lee here. It's Kelsey Benito here. You're confusing us around here. We feel like we're offending you all the time. We're offending Arnold. We need to know. Now you
We
told
need
us.
to know.
Thank goodness. Mandy is somehow on here, and she was on there as well.
Pulling double duty.
All right. So, you ready for this?
Yes.
I'll read it again.
Okay.
What's your opinion? It's right there on election versus free will.
Gosh dang it. I was trying to find it in the list. What is my opinion on election versus free will?
Or do you want to answer first? Go and return.
I actually have an interesting answer because we talked about this in our Bible study a while ago in Romans, and
Yep.
I'm still
On the fence.
I don't know. Both things kind of make sense in my head, and somehow I feel like there is some sort of like balance, which I know that like clearly there's not a balance or whatever. One is true or one is not, but I don't know what the answer is.
That's fair. That's good. Yeah.
Now,
A lot of smart people believe in both. And I do actually, I'll agree with you in saying, I'll give a little clue. I do think that you don't necessarily have to fit in both boxes. Because I think what they call election and what they call free will sometimes can get confused. And it gets focused on one thing, depending on who you're talking to. Anyway, go ahead.
so, okay, I just want to make sure that I'm fully understanding because, my brain sometimes doesn't always work. So,
This is why
election.
you should have read it. You
So-
should have read the question. Yeah, go ahead.
So election by that they mean like God, like He's already decided all this. And
Correct.
Like, okay.
No, not all this, because then you can get, because we all believe God's sovereign.
Yeah.
Very specifically, when people say this, it's, I'll make it people. Everyone is already determined. He made some to go to hell and some aren't. It's already decided. It's already over. He knows who's going, or He has created some to go and some not, and that's the end of it. There's
Gotcha.
not really a choice to accept Christ.
Gotcha.
It's just a choice to accept what's what's been chosen for you. Make sense?
Yep, makes sense. So
And there's people that would put it way more eloquently, but
100% agree with kind of what you were saying a second ago, that it's like you don't have to be in either box. I think that there is free will. Like, I'll use myself. Like, I think I had the free will to decide to choose Jesus.
they won't say that. Someone that believes in election.
Gotcha.
You didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, I don't,
And there's
I don't- I
verses.
don't
There's
agree with
verses that I understand the verses they're referring to, and like why they would think that. Sometimes.
Yeah, I would say I would definitely lean more towards free will in that case.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now here's where I'm a weirdo, and why the issue with free will a lot of times, people that put themselves in that camp, right? Arminian is what's called theologically, is that they believe you can lose your salvation, right? Because if I can choose to accept him, I can choose to then walk away from him. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
So a lot of there's certain denominations that believe that. In fact, most of them around this area would be in that boat, believe it or not. As far as I do not think that's true at all. You can certainly, the Bible's, in my opinion, very, very clear that once saved, you're sealed with the Holy Spirit. Jesus himself said, the Gospel of John, I will never let go of one of these you've given to me, right? The Bible says, what can separate us from the love of God? Meaning Christians can height nor depth. Nothing can separate us, even us. So I believe we're saved. However, I believe that, and this is kind of where it can get interesting. So it's like, oh, well, Todd, you're clearly a Calvinist, which is the term they typically go with people in election. I'm not, in the sense that I think God can know what everyone's going to choose without that meaning he's determined the choice they're going to make. Like he has forced it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that's hard for us to understand. So I always tell people I'm like a 4-point Calvinist if you like theology. And I'm definitely not 5-point. I don't believe that. And even the verse that a lot of people point to is not the verse that is the best argument for election to me. A lot of times they'll talk about Romans, in the book of Romans, where it talks about who are you to question God? He's made some to throw in the trash and some not. Shouldn't we? He is a good God just because he saved any of them, right? Meaning, that to me, contextually, in the book of Romans, for me, doesn't really hold up. Now, there are other verses that I think I'm like, okay, I can understand, where you're coming from. So for me, I just feel like it boils down to, I think he definitely knows already who's going where.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mess with my view, because people say, well, Todd, then you're saying God's not sovereign, meaning he's not fully in control. And I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of a human way of thinking. In a human sense, yeah, but God's above any limitations we have.
Yes.
And time is not linear to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's in the future, past. He's time is like a man-made construct, kind of. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So God doesn't live in that. That's what I think. And I really like that you said that, though, Zeke, because we go to the same church, Zeke and I. He's where he's at, in it, and I know where he stands everywhere else. We may not fully agree on it, but that's okay. That's a secondary issue. The only time it becomes a primary issue for me, and maybe it is, maybe it shouldn't be, is it's hard for me to accept that someone can lose their salvation. Only because, and people are like, what about people that walk away from the Lord? Well, my argument, how I say, we're going to end up the same place. I think they never accepted Christ.
And my question for that is, why is that such a big deal to people? Why is it that they can't, why is it that if someone was, quote, following Jesus, but then they walk away, that the answer is they just actually never knew? Because
it's really hard for people to think about. We can't know anyone, right? Think about if right? You guys know me, and all of a sudden I came and said, I don't believe in God, walk away. Think about what that would do to you. The thought of just in your life, right? Someone really close, oh my gosh, how could that be? How could it be that he was lying the whole time, or he wasn't really believing that? I think it's hard for people to emotionally accept that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus saying, and maybe because then they also think that they'll come back. But to me, them not being saved doesn't mean that they can't be.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and to me, I think what ties with that verse, with that concept about losing, walking away, is Jesus's parable and analogy on the seed on the soil. Remember? So some seed, it lands on rocky, some seed gets withered up, some seed it comes to take. One of the seeds, it starts to grow and then gets choked out by life. So you won't really know until it multiplies. So there's going to come a point where each is growing and you're like, oh, well, they're the same. You only know at the end when it begins to multiply. Remember that, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's odd because I've always I always taken that parable as when he threw the seed, if it started to grow, like that's always where it confused me, was that if it gets choked out, did that seed lose its salvation, or did that seed lose its faith? But what you just said makes a lot more sense of the fact that they're not a Christian or they're whatever until they are producing
Fruit,
That
yeah,
fruit, man.
fruit. Because that's the proof, right? When we find out in
Yeah.
the New Testament too, is what is the proof? The fruit. And you said something really good, man. It reminded me of another section. You were talking about choke. Gosh, I should have written it down because it ties to another verse in the Bible too. About gosh darn it, now I can't think of it. You said choke out. Oh, it's that Hebrews verse we get asked about all the time, where it says, after having first heard, I think it's Hebrews 6, I think, because we've gotten asked this question
Yep,
about
we've
12
gotten
times. It's a
asked
very
a lot.
difficult section where the writer of Hebrews says this thing kind of about like having heard it and then lost it, and it's not the context it's actually saying.
Re-crucifying.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Tim says, the apostles and individuals of the Bible are a great example to me that God can choose and elect individuals for purpose, that though each is called, each person has free will to follow. Moses was chosen, but God talked with him to follow. It's true, because he told him if you don't, someone else is going to rise up. Jesus spoke with each of the apostles, but they had to choose to follow. That's some of my thoughts on the subject, and I fully agree with that. Tim, you know what's crazy, man? I had thought of the Moses one. I hadn't thought of the idea that he came to the apostles and asked them. I think the hardline Calvinists will be like, yeah, I had a guy try to explain this to me. He was in seminary when I was an undergrad at the college I went to. And I feel like he thought I was just like, he was on some other level because he said, he's like, okay, but if I go into a closet and all my suits are the exact same suits, did I really have a choice? I'm like, well, yeah, because
Yeah,
I could
the
choose this
different
third
suits.
suit here. Or I could choose the first suit.
There's
And he's
still
like,
different
no,
suits.
but they're the same suit. And I'm like,
It's a different suit, man.
you said they all look alike. There's
Yeah.
still a third suit and an eighth suit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like, anyway.
That's like,
Now, I will say there's very smart people in the world and men of God that I admire who believe in that. What part does a child have in their adoption? I see where you're going here, but I don't think it's an exact. That child has the choice to walk away, and I think it's elevating one or the other. What do you do with the fact that Jesus said, "I will never let go of one of these you've given to me"? Because if you believe, right? Well, I guess in your case, you'd probably say, well, I believe that. Yeah. I think that it's, people have a responsibility. It reminds me of it in Matthew. Okay. So Jesus comes to the top, he's looking down Jerusalem and he says, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, I have longed to gather you under my wings as chicks to a hen, but you have refused. So to me, that was always interesting too, because why would he grieve over that? He's like, listen, I've come to you. I've offered this to you, but you refuse. You have some response in that.
yeah,
So,
man.
but I mean, it's a valid point. I think it depends. What I heard from a very wise person was, as long as you agree on everything else, at the end of the day, you're at the same thing. You're at the same place. So take the person that walked away. Either they weren't saved,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I'm saying. I'm almost there. You know what I mean? I just think it's possible. And I think it's backed up, in my opinion. And I'm sure you have verses that disagree with that you can put. But trying to be, didn't the Father give us the Son? I feel like you're still avoiding the part I'm referencing. So what do you mean by the Father give us the Son? What do you do with that section in Matthew? I can look it up. Where Jesus says, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, all I've longed to gather you under my wings as chicks to a hen, but you have refused. It's interesting. Even that. Or what Tim said. I think it's interesting, too, when he says about Moses. He said, what does God say to him? Well, if you don't do it, I'm just going to find another person.
Yeah.
Now, he knew Moses was going to do it. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah. Is because he knew, and I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like, again, that's why I even asked the question initially, because I'm like, why is it such a big deal? And it makes sense when you say like the emotional like capacity of it all. It's just interesting to me that because I don't know.
Most people that would argue with me think that I'm saying you can lose your salvation. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Because most people that say you have free will, that's why I said that's like, I'm kind of like what you're saying is like, I wouldn't put myself fully in either camp. I don't think you can lose your salvation. I think once we're grabbed, God finishes the good work. He seals us. It's all him.
Yeah.
But I believe there's a moment when we have an opportunity to respond to that call.
Absolutely.
And they're going to say, well, how can we be utterly depraved and respond to the call? Well, like, there you go again. We're kind of, in my mind, wrestling with these man-made. We're trying to put terms to things to make it easier to understand. And to me, I think it's. I'm 100% with him. Can't lose your salvation. It's God's act towards us. In fact, it's in our statement of beliefs, right? We're fully depraved. We can't save ourselves.
Yep.
Okay. And that's why they would say, I can make the argument, they would say, well, if we can't save ourselves, we're not even good enough to respond to his call, is what they say. You get what I mean? The people that are full 5-point Calvinists. So this may bore a lot of other people, but
I'm very intrigued.
I think that, I think that, and like I was saying to Tim's when I finished, because I started reading others, is his point about the apostles is pretty good too. All right, moving on.
All right.
Making sure here. We got a lot of questions tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Which means for the first time in a long time, we may not be able to come back to them.
It's true. Now, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting. I know you're trying to move on, but it keeps sticking with me because I'm like, yeah, man. I guess for me, because I didn't grow up in church, and so like the way that you explained it, you know, the first time I've heard you talk about it, it just made so much sense that like, you know, God is above our human constructs. And so like you know, so it's like, so yes, God can know what you're going to do, but still give you the free will to choose it. Like that makes so much sense to me. So to me, it's like, I guess it's like, I don't understand how, so if somebody, it's like saying to me,
listen, they would make the argument way more eloquently than I would for it. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not going to sit here and say, and we talked about that in Roman, in the class or the Bible study that we're in. I understand the argument, but for me, I look at the entire context of Scripture, and I guess I just don't see it.
yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I just didn't want to make it seem like I'm sitting here thinking all those people that do that are idiots. I don't think
No,
that.
I wouldn't say that either.
Because I'm with them. I don't think you can walk away either. That's very clear, and I feel like that's where I feel like I'm forced into a camp. Well, if you believe it's for real, you have to believe you can walk away. I'm like, because I have the choice to walk away. I'm like, no, because I'm transformed. I can't be untransformed.
Yep.
If I'm really saved and I'm transformed to a new creature, I can't then change back.
Yep.
You know,
Agreed.
it's a full thing.
Definitely.
All right, let's try to get a couple of these in here.
Sure.
Let's go to the one that actually says wrong for me, wife one.
All right, and once it pops up, I can read it.
I'm not down at the bottom. Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine.
This is good and pleases our Savior who wants all to be saved. Yeah, that's another one. I'm glad you said that. And then John 3:16 too. For God so loved the world, he sent his son, right, in the world, that the world not be condemned, but they might be saved through him. The world. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, that's simple, because if he wanted the entire world to be saved, why would he say that? If he didn't, if everyone didn't have a choice. And thank you for sharing that, Emmett, because I kind of forgot my own thing here.
Yeah.
Oh, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. For God did not send his son in the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. And you read that second part to me, and it's like, okay, I would have to almost change that. He did come to condemn some, but to save others. You know what I mean?
It's really good, man.
So she reminded me, 1 Timothy, that's even better. This is good and pleases God, our Savior, who wants all people to be saved and come to a knowledge of the truth. That's good. The idea of religious salvation, I believe, comes at a cost of compromising Jesus. That's what I've always felt too, because it's either a false, the sacrifice was fully sufficient or it wasn't. And that's what's funny about Tim is like him and I would probably be on the same side if we were talking to an Arminian, the person who says you can, in full free will, in the sense that you could literally walk away or like you could lose your salvation. And I don't think that's the case. Anyway, you got that? Next one? I ramble a lot, so I'll read this one
Okay.
so you guys can talk.
Yep.
That's something I'm pretty passionate about, as you know, so we can go
Oh,
on
absolutely.
and
I
on.
love
Is it wrong for me, a wife, to not want to have a baby because I don't want to be 45 with a middle schooler, but my husband wants a baby? Now, guys, I want to save you a second to get you not in trouble here. We don't know the full situation, so you have to stick to not speaking into it, but is it wrong that she doesn't want to? That's the question here. The rest of it's sort of filling out details. The question is it wrong for her to not want to, even though her husband wants to?
I don't think it's wrong to feel that way.
To feel that way, yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think it's wrong to feel that way.
And as far as the rest of it, it's hard to get involved in that. You know?
Yeah, because it's, I don't know. it's I feel like, again, I don't think it's wrong to feel that way. Like Todd said, it's kind of hard to get into like the situation. We'd probably need more context to it specifically. But like, I can understand why you wouldn't want to be 45 with a middle schooler. I understand that. Like, like I get it.
That's hard, man, because we're not in the situation. fully.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's not. A lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's this weird feeling when it comes to submission, right? Or to your husband. Husbands, wives submit to your husbands. Husbands love your wives as Christ loves the church. And there's this weird kind of extreme. Submission has nothing to do with how you feel. It has to do with what you choose to do.
It's good.
So, what's interesting about this situation, if you're looking at it, and that's why the ideal world is a compromise, because the husband loves the wife as Christ loves the church, so he should care about that desire. She should respect him, so should respect his opinion. And then the thing you don't want to hear necessarily is if it really came down to it, and this is in any decision, one or the other, and it's different. This was not a modern thinking. Who wins out in a tie? And that isn't because they're more important. It's because of the roles. You know.
Yeah. I definitely agree with all of that. I think that
It's tough to get involved in that.
yeah, the husband, like you said, should be respecting and loving his wife, and so take into account the fact that she doesn't want to be 45 with a middle schooler, and there is some sort of like in the end he's going to lead, and that's kind of unpopular, I think. But
Yeah,
Sure.
it is.
but if he is doing his job and he is fulfilling his role,
Yeah.
then it shouldn't be an issue, if that makes sense. at all.
Exactly.
Like if
Yeah.
if he's loving and respecting
really good.
and all of that, then he should be leading you in the right direction, and you should trust that.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good. Go ahead and let's go to the spouse one. Loose trust in the spouse. Because there's kind of a follow up to that one too. And matter of fact, we should probably just throw that one up right after. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that it gives the context real quick, and then you can take that second one off.
Oh boy.
If you lost trust from your spouse, not from cheating with another person, but withholding information, like consuming bad foods when the spouse is a health nut, and not telling them about it to avoid arguments. Now the spouse is afraid that other information is being withheld for bigger things. How can I gain that trust back? We're both working through family trauma, so we're trying not to shut off and walk away entirely. It's really cool that you're trying that. And then the second part, what? No, the second question. Okay, there it is. With the spouse question, this is them filling out. We don't believe in Jesus. It just so happened to come across the podcast tonight. Well, thanks for asking the question.
Yeah. Very cool.
So situation is there's some kind of trust loss. Maybe they withheld information, and now the spouse is going, okay, what else are you withholding? How do you gain that trust back?
I think it's going to require, one, it's just going to require just the act of you gifting trust again. And that's like you just, because.
Well, this is the person asking how to get the trust back. They are the ones who lost the trust. You see what I'm saying? So it would be like, I asked you this question because I lost the trust of my wife from withholding. Now I'm asking you, how do I get it back? Because I did withhold information, but now they're worried
Gotcha.
it's bigger. How can I earn that, get that trust back?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. You just gotta be honest, man. Like you have to, you guys aren't believers. So it's like, I would say that you have to be honest for one, moving forward. And if you, I guess, live out of your convictions in a way, like if you have done something that is hurtful, but that's going to gain trust back, like I think you should tell them, like, because to me, like hiding something and then them finding out is just going to hurt that trust even more. But if you go to them before they have to ask you, I think that's a big thing in gaining trust back. Because even if it hurts, you're still being like that. To me, that shows you're willing to be honest. And that to me, that's going to start gaining that trust back when you're just going to them instead of them having to find out and then ask. So that to me, that's a first, like to me, that's a what's the word I'm looking for? That's
the YouTube folks.
Like a basis to start with, I suppose.
Yeah. Brutally honest.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
the time. It's like even in the example of like you're sneaking food when your spouse is a health nut, like every time you steal food, or not steal, but sneak food that you shouldn't be eating, you got to just own up to it.
Yeah, just
And,
like, I ate it.
yeah, show that you're trustworthy, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, time is going to be huge in that
Yep.
too. It's not going to just be next day. They're going to be like, yeah, it's all better.
Exactly.
One thing I'd say to kind of clarify something you said we're not believers. I think truth is truth regardless of whether you believe in it.
True.
So,
call.
and that's just a free you.
Yeah.
I think one of the, because my advice would be the same either way. It would just be, because you're talking to this person, I would ask them, what could I do to gain your trust back? Right? Have you tried that? Try asking them. Maybe there's something they're saying like, hey, if I ask a question, even if it's silly, please just answer it and don't get mad. Maybe it's, I don't know, depending on, again, we don't know the situation, but that'd be the first thing. The second thing is if they say nothing, then you're just going to have to start living your life very transparently to the point where it'll probably feel a little annoying at first, because you're wanting them to know at the end of the day, you're not trying to necessarily take back what you did because you can't. You're just trying to show them that moving forward from this point on, I'm going to be different.
Yep.
So you just got to act different.
That's good, man.
So it's really, I think it's all good there that you guys said.
Yeah.
We can go with that First Peter verse.
Nice. We got a lot coming in tonight.
Yeah, I
man.
just want to answer those. And
Yeah,
make
it's
sure we get,
awesome.
There's still some really good ones on here too.
Oh, I know. It's really good stuff.
Probably won't get to tonight, but
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Zeke, you came on, man, and just haven't missed a beat.
It's true, man. He's
Diving into
killing
real
it. I love
questions.
it.
Go ahead, AJ.
I read this yesterday. It was scary and shook me to my core. 1 Peter 4:18, and this is ESV. It says, and quote, if the righteous is scarcely saved, what will become of the ungodly and the sinner? End quote. We can do all the right things and barely make it.
Yeah, I it is it's terrifying, and I think what it really points to though is, to me, I don't think it's like if we were saved through Him and Him alone, nothing we do is good enough, right? So that's how we're kind of scarcely saved. We can't do enough good works.
Right.
At period, it's nothing. What'll come to the people that don't have Jesus? And like you said, assuming you're a real Christian, you're going to show some fruit. So you are trying to be good, but it still wouldn't be good enough. Yeah, it is scary.
Kind of reminds me of it kind of loosely reminds me of the church's verse in a way.
Oh, so too at the present time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Thanks, Kelsey.
it can't be based on works because, even in this context, like we are scarcely saved only by His grace and His grace alone, man. So it's like, man, that's what it reminded me of.
Hey, thank you for Jesus, man. That's
Yeah.
okay. Hey, it was a good show today.
Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun.
I think we got through. Zeke, you came in on some heavy hitters today, man. So good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Killed it. Well done.
Me taking those compliments real great.
All right, cool. Well, hey, you have anything you want to say?
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on Real Talk Live. I would encourage you to check out our podcast, Real Talk web series, episode 196, called Blunk. It's not a
You
real
have to
word,
watch it.
but I said
Well, it is. It's not me.
That's right.
You'll have to tune in.
Yeah, you'll see the context when you listen to
Norman
it.
did ask a question, and we'll get to. Sorry, I do remember it now.
Okay.
Go on.
Are we gonna answer it now?
Yes, I think so, because we got to honor what we said, and he took the time to put it in there. I do remember what it is if I can't find it. Essentially, he said, what do you think about the kind of Christian culture where you can't be competitive?
Oh, you know what? I remember glancing at that one too.
You can't be competitive, and it feels like people get passive-aggressive because you're not a good Christian wouldn't say they're competitive,
What's interesting about, we'll try to answer it, without fully seeing it if we can't find it. But I would say for that, man, to me, it's ridiculous because, you think about even stories in the Bible and how you have like these powerful people like Samson and all these people that do like wild things, like, and they're killing people, part of wars and all this stuff. And it's just like, but then like come back to modern times and it's like, you can't even be competitive with each other. It's like, what a weird thing. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, I don't think the killing was even like always ideal.
Sure.
But listen, can you be competitive a lot of times and have a crappy attitude? Yes. Where I think it's annoying is like in a moment, if I'm being competitive and there's aggression. Right?
Yeah.
Aggression somehow in Christianity is immediately viewed as evil, right? Like it's terrible. Paul, go read Paul. That guy,
Yep.
threaten people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should, but Paul did.
Yes.
Because he essentially said one time, he goes, you say I'm all talk. You don't want me to show up and show you I'm not all talk.
Yep.
But I think so I can see why, because they're afraid it's going to lead to sin, people being jerks. And some people, maybe they shouldn't be as competitive.
Yeah.
But like for me, I've played sports my life. It's like I can be competitive and want to win. And I think it honors God to try our best.
Yeah.
And if you can do it without having hate in your heart and wanting to sin, I think it's completely fine. I just think it goes back to Christianese. It's just, it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Even though they are being competitive. So I think of church league basketball, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
How dare you say you're trying, but we're definitely going to try. You know what I mean? It's just
Exactly.
weird.
It makes me think of Jesus too, like flipping tables and like.
Yeah, but you're right. You mean in aggression? Okay, yeah.
Yes,
I
like-
thought you were like, listen, killing, man, and then playing basketball. It's the same thing.
No.
What were you gonna say, Zeke?
I was gonna say it kind of makes me think about like a Super Bowl party and how competitive people get just about a team that they're not even on, and somehow that's okay because they're not in it.
It's a good point.
But it's not okay to actually be aggressive, or not aggressive, but competitive
Yeah. Sure.
in a sport that you're actually playing and wanting to win. Like, why would I play if I don't want to win?
Exactly.
Sure, I want to have fun, and I am playing to have fun.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that's why I'm playing. But
Well, that's what makes
Wait,
you able to
wait,
walk away and not get think it killed your entire week.
Right.
Because you're like, I'm here to have fun. Yeah. That's good, man.
Hmm.
Outdoing one another in good work sounds kind of competitive to me.
Nice.
Sarah says, Jane says, well done. It's been fun watching. Oh, thanks, Jane. No, you probably have a little soft spot for this guy. Sarah says, good night, guys. Such a great episode. Happy birthday, AJ. I forgot to say it.
Thank you.
And Norman says, I can't stand that church culture. Doesn't like people competitive. I just don't like that somehow if you're competitive, then all of a sudden you're just a bad person. A lot of times it's
man.
bizarre. So anyway, yeah. You got anything you want to say, Zeke?
thanks for having me on.
Did a great job,
Thanks
man.
for watching, everybody.
I almost pulled a Blake.
I looked at the camera, almost didn't see it.
Yeah, that's good, Brenda. Yeah, exactly. Because, I think there's definitely an unhealthy competition. But happy birthday, AJ. Such a cool guy. I love you. That's
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that.
Did a great job. Great job to fun guy, Austin. Great job to production guy. Good job, production guy.
He's waving like he doesn't
Waving around like he didn't care. Fun turn. Love you, dude. Good job. Alex says, see you at home, Zeke.
Oh boy.
Brenda, thanks for joining us today.
I
Really
hate it.
appreciate it. Tim, hey, man, I hope if you're still on here, really appreciate you being on and asking those questions. It's good. It's good questions.
Absolutely,
man.
man.
And in
Love
fact, if it was just me and you chilling at church, I'd talk all day long. I just didn't want to take the whole show on that topic. But I love the questions and comments and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you guys so much. Please share, go check out our actual podcast. You can, if you haven't liked the page above, over here, the Remnant Church, go give us a like. The more likes we get, the more people we reach. You're like, Todd, I don't go to church, so why should I like it? We're all on the same team. If you love
That's
Jesus,
right.
we love Jesus. Willie says you all did great. Love you guys. Love you too, man.
Love you too, Willie.
Love you guys, all you guys. That's it, I think. Have a great day. God bless you.